Hi, I'm Andrew, and this is Viki. We are the Lathe leads for the 2020 to 2021 GRT season. In this introduction video, you will learn how to safely operate the lathe, how it works, what it can do, and how to use the tools. By the end of this video, you will be familiar with the basics of using the lathe. Let's get started.
You will have to pass an online test covering this material before you receive any hands-on lathe training. Before we get started though, remember to make sure you're following the safety rules of the shop. Wear your safety glasses at all times. Always roll up your sleeves. Tie back your hair. And check the people around you. The lathe is used for turning, facing, drilling, and other machining operations. Turning is the process of rotating stock material while a sharpened tool is moved into the stock to cut and remove some of the material. The stock is most often a cylindrical rod, but may also be hexagonal or square in cross-section. Because the stock is rotating, the cutting tool creates features with radial symmetry. More complex parts may require that you machine some features on the lathe and other features on the milling machine, which you will learn about later. In this training, we will refer to the length of the stock as this dimension, to the diameter as this dimension, and to the end face as this area. There are two lathes in the GRT shop, a collet lathe and a chuck lathe. The main difference between the two lathes is how they hold the stock. The collet lathe uses a collet to hold stock of a fixed diameter, which is convenient for standard materials like half-inch rod stock. Different collets are available for different diameters. The chuck lathe has adjustable jaws that can hold stock of a variety of diameters. This is our collet lathe. Important components of the collet lathe are motor control lever, emergency stop pedal, collet chuck, ways, tailstock, drill chuck, speed change gears, X-axis knob, Y-axis knob, compound knob, tool post, X-axis lock, tailstock lock, and carriage. And this is our chuck lathe. Important components of the chuck lathe are motor control lever, emergency stop pedal, 3-jaw chuck, ways, tailstock, drill chuck, speed change gears, X-axis knob, Y-axis knob, compound knob, tool post, X-axis lock, tailstock lock, and the carriage.
Before showing you any lathe operations, we will cover some lathe safety guidelines. The collet lathe is normally supplied with power at all times, indicated by this red button. Note that nothing moves with just the power on. To turn the motor on and begin lathe operations, grasp the motor control lever and push it to the right and up, like this. Right, up. To turn the motor off, gently bring the motor control lever down and to the left. This will turn the power off to the motor and the chuck or collet will start to slow down. If you pull down too hard or too fast, you'll push the lever past the neutral position and reverse the motor's direction of spin. If this occurs while the motor is still spinning forward, it can damage the motor and other parts of the lathe. The chuck lathe is also normally supplied with power at all times, although there is no indicator light. Again, nothing moves with just the power on. To turn the motor on and begin lathe operations, grasp the motor control lever and push it to the right and up, like this. Bring the motor control lever down and to the left to turn the motor off. There is also emergency stop on each lathe. The cot lathe emergency stop is activated by kicking it inwards. The chuck lathe emergency stop is activated by stepping on it. Do not use the emergency stop during normal lathe operations. If you do need to use the emergency stop, tell the supervising mentor before turning the lathe back on. Lathe tools are sharp and can be dangerous. When you're using them, make sure to take your time to set up properly. Use a brush, not your fingers, to remove the metal chips and avoid getting cut. Use the brush located on top of one of the lathe. After tightening your stock in the chuck lathe, always make sure to remove the chuck key and place it on top of the control box. This will ensure that the key does not fly out and injure someone when the lathe is turned on. Also, make sure your stock does not stick out too far out of the chuck or collet. In general, for the chuck lathe, stock should not stick out more than 1/3 of its length. For the collet lathe, it should not stick out more than 1/2 of its length. This will avoid twisting or bending of the stock and damage to the lathe and possible injury to yourself or others. Longer stock needs to be machined between two centers. Ask a vet or mentor if you need to do this. Whenever you're not sure about something, ask someone who knows.
Common lathe operations include parting, facing, turning, drilling, and tapping. Specialized tools for these operations can be found in the black drawers near the spare stock. The parting tool is used to cut all the way across the diameter of your stock, removing a piece from the end of the stock. The turning and facing combination tool is used for both the turning and facing operations on the lathe. Facing is used to remove a small amount of material from the end of your stock to create a uniform flat surface. Facing creates a nice finish and a surface that you can use as a reference for accurate measurements. Note that facing should not be used to remove more than 1/4 inch of material in total because it is a slower operation than parting. The turning tool is used to cut rotationally symmetric features into your stock. The turning tool has a different angle than the facing tool and is placed into the tool holder differently. You can also use the lathe to drill into the end face of the stock. The drill bit is inserted into the chuck of the tailstock, which moves along these rails called ways. Drilling allows you to create precise hole features and to prepare the stock before tapping. Tapping is the operation that creates threads in a hole so that a screw or bolt can be fastened to the part. The tools used for tapping include the tap guide, tap handle, and tap, all of which we explain how to use in a future video.
That does it for the first installment of the GRT lathe training videos. I hope this gives you a better understanding of what a lathe does and how it works. If you have any questions, please ask them out in class so everyone can learn the answers. Stay safe, everybody, and I hope to see you in the shop soon.